Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Let's Play Warframe. I'm your host of the most, as always, Francois878, and today we are going to be talking about the Astilla, the brand new glass shotgun that was released with update 22, or the Plains of Eidolon. We're going to be talking about how we acquire it, some basic info, and some builds for you guys. And then I'll just kind of wrap up with my general thoughts. Now, I am part of the Partners Program with Warframe, so I did receive this weapon for free to review. And honestly, it is my favorite of the three glass weapons. This particular weapon is a lot of fun to use. It has a lot of unique features that we'll be getting into in a few minutes once we go over some basic stats. And I just think it's a lot of fun to use in general. It's also, from first glance, it may not look as powerful as, let's say, the Tigris or the Heck, but I think once I start to kind of go through this basic info, you guys will kind of understand that that might not be entirely the case. Now, this weapon is available from the marketplace as a blueprint. You can just pick it up for platinum or pick up the blueprint and craft it. Reasonable crafting costs, nothing outrageous. You do need to be master rank 7 in order to wield it. The weapon does a base of 190 physical damage, primarily in slash and impact. 17% chance to crit with a 1.9 crit multiplier, 33% status chance, 2.0 reload speed, 16 rounds in the mag, 4.33 rounds per second. And like all shotguns, this weapon also has some fall off. However, the damage fall off does not start until 40 meters. And it ends at 60 meters, in which you'll be doing 50% of the weapon's damage. This is an incredible damage fall-off. This is the highest damage fall-off of any primary shotgun in the entire game. For a point of reference, at 30 meters, the Arcaplasmor's plasma bubble ceased to exist at 30 meters. So this shotgun is definitely meant to be a longer range it's to engage enemies from a safer distance. So, like I said before, technically this weapon has a much lower base damage than, let's say, the Heck or the Tigris, but I bet you at 40 meters, they'll be doing pretty much the same amount of damage, or the damage will be much closer due to the shotgun's fall off. That's just my opinion. This first build here is pretty basic. Primed point blank, and Hell's Chamber for damage and multi-shot. I've got Sweeping Serration for extra slash damage. I've got Blaze on there for extra damage and extra heat damage. And I also have all 4 of the 60% elemental damage, 60% status chance mods on there. That's just to get the shotgun to 100% status chance. Because the shotgun does use slugs instead of shells and instead of pellets, you don't actually need to get to 100% status chance for this weapon to deal incredible procs. You can make it to 80 or 90% and still very consistently proc on enemies. I did it because I really like status. I really like stripping armor and confusing enemies and all that. I really like having 100% status chance. Makes me feel a little bit better. On this last build, I actually replaced Blaze for Vicious Spread. Vicious Spread is 90% flat damage and a 60% spread. Now, I've been using the shotgun. I don't notice a difference in accuracy. I don't notice any spread at all. Now, that might change at longer distances because the accuracy of this weapon does decrease the further the slug travels, but 20 to 30 meters, it's fine. It's completely fine. And I would say even up to 40, you're not going to have a significant problem. If you go anything past that, you might see a little bit of an accuracy problem, but I don't think it'd be anywhere near a heavy caliber. Now, the reason I put on Vicious Spread was to get more damage without having Blast, with Blast and Corrosive being the same amount, so they can proc an equal amount when I'm firing the gun. The way status procs work, at least in theory, are the damage types that you deal the most damage in have a slightly higher chance of actually proccing. So if you have a lot of corrosive damage, you will proc a lot of corrosive procs. So if you have more blast damage, you're more likely to proc blast over corrosive, which is not what I want. Now, obviously, you proc physical significantly more than elemental, but that's a whole nother thing. There's a whole nother video that I don't want to get into right now. All in all, you know, you guys can run your builds however you want. I only had to add 1V polarity onto this weapon. It does come with 1V polarity to get that build to work. So if you want to throw on a couple of extra formas to get some, you know, higher damage mods on there, that's definitely an option for you guys. I would say even going 290s and 260-60s is a totally viable option. If you guys want to take the slash damage mod off, that's fine too. Slash is a great damage type against pretty much every type of creature and enemy in the game, so it's honestly, it's up to you guys as far as what you feel like doing with the shotgun. Now, overall, aesthetically, it's okay. It's nothing I would write home about, but it's certainly not an ugly weapon. It's certainly not a Grineer weapon. I like to rip on the Grineer weapons a lot, but it's sexy enough. It's sexy enough. The design team did well with all of the glass weapons, but this shotgun, it's all right. Overall, I can definitely see myself using this shotgun on the plains, on regular missions, just pretty much wherever I would normally use content, any of my normal content. I would say that it's probably not... it's tough to say I would take this on a sortie. At least, well, I take it on the first two. On the third level of a sortie, it'd be a little rough, even with that 100%. Even with a 100% status chance on this weapon, it's a little rough. I'd have to do a little more experimentation. But if memory serves, in the simulacrum, level 100 was a little... Trying to kill level 100 heavy gunner was a little tough. So it's definitely, and obviously the simulacrum is not an actual accurate representation of real combat with, you know, 3 other people and their abilities and everything else, but, you know, it's definitely got an advantage simply because of its incredibly long range damage fall off, and I really like that, and I think it's a very unique little aspect of this shotgun that in and of itself deserves, you know, for you guys to take a look at it. And it's not bad to craft. It's honestly pretty reasonable. But thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. My Twitter and Facebook are also in the description if you want to hear my mad ravings or if you want a glyph code. I still have plenty, so come in and hit me up for those. Until next time, I am your host of the most, as always, Francois878, signing off.